Nothing here. So many of you guys been asking me what skills I use for PvP, dungeons, and raids. So let's go. So if I go to skills and I go to inscriptions, inscription number 1, you can see my full setup for tanking raids and dungeons. Now let's go. I use blood guard, iron hair, drain, toughness, growl, and potential. Now I'm not going to explain each and every skill to you guys because you guys can see this in the game. So I'm just going to talk about growl. Now growl says batter the enemy, inflicting 120% plus 216 points of physical damage and causing stun for 2 seconds, while taunting enemy to attack for 4 seconds. Now in this game, every skill the tank use does eye threat, meaning once you use these skills, the boss going to attack you automatically. Now in raids, if there are 2 tanks and the other tank use his eye threat skill first, the boss going to attack him, and if you use these skills, the boss will not stop attacking him and attacking you. Now to let the boss attack you, you need to use growl. This is a skill you use to taunt and take aggro from the next tank in raids, because in raids sometimes the bosses does stacks on tanks and you need to switch aggro so the next tank can go away and get rid of his stacks. So remember, this is one of your most important skill to use in raids. Now for my semi DPS and semi tanking in dungeons, I use this setup. So I use this setup if my healer is really good and I am the only tank in the party. Why I say only tank is still some tanks doesn't know what skill they use to take aggro, so sometimes they use the wrong skill and take your aggro and they complain about it. Now in this setup I use bleed, clobber, mangle, toughness, rip, and potential. And as you can see, the only taunting skill I have is toughness and potential, and both of these skills are high threat. And what I said about high threat, when you use them, the boss is going to attack you automatically. So these are the only skills I use. So why I use toughness is because sometimes the boss is going to summon creeps and you can pull the creeps towards you with this skill, so the AoE DPSs can kill the creeps while DPS and the boss at the same time. This makes you clear the dungeon much faster, and this skill is used to AoE taunt monsters that are spread apart. You can use this to taunt them so they attack you. Now to go on to my full DPS for PvP and for dungeons. Now I use bleed, clobber, mangle, arm string, rip, and howl. And this is my full setup for PvP and for dungeons as DPS. Now for my talent, for full tanking for raids and dungeons, I use HP extension, HP resistance, secret language, the rootless. Now for my talent, I use for semi DPS and semi tank, I use Skull Bash, Brutality, Swift Footed, and Bleeding Out. So this is what I use for semi tanking plus semi DPS and for full PvP and full DPS. This is the setup I use for all of these setups. Now for my secret heart, I use if I'm going full tank in raids and dungeons, I go wooden skin plus nature spirit. If I'm going semi DPS and semi tank in dungeons, I go root hair, coil plus nature skill. If I'm going PvP, I go panther farm plus root hair, cowl. Now you guys may be wondering, how do I get these 2 skills? There's a video coming soon about this, so don't worry. So I hope I help you guys out. Thank you guys for watching, and take care, and remember to subscribe.